listening to the Moist Boys Podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to the Moist Boys Podcast. It's another wonderful week, another wonderful episode. Everybody's favorite podcast back once again. My name is Josh.
I am Jonathan.
And I'm your best bro, Heather.
And today we got a little bit of smorgasbord going on. You know, the top of the ticket, we got our introductory episode to the new series we're starting over here that are going to be varying degrees of controversial. We're starting off with an easy one to kind of ease everyone into this, but
yeah,
I don't think there's going to be too many hot takes out in the world for the film that we're talking about, if anyone even remembers it at all. I think that is the thing for this movie. Unless you're watching TNT on an afternoon in the middle of the week, you might not be aware that this is a
movie that exists.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I don't even remember this movie. This movie takes up space in my brain forever and always because I went and saw it in the theater. But that's, the two of us. Mm-hmm. And then question mark amount of other people who went and saw it in a theater.
Yeah. But before we get into that, just wanted to, probably shouldn't have done that right into the microphone, but probably wanted to do some house cleaning first. Something that we probably should have been doing
leading up to this. Or just in general.
Just on the show in general.
Probably a good idea.
I know some other shows do that. It's called listener engagement. But, all right. Oh, fuck. I just reloaded the page.
Nothing but the best from the Moist Boys.
Yeah. But I just wanted to read some of our podcast reviews.
Oh.
I know that there's one specific reference from reviews that we've made on the show a few times that people might not be aware of if you haven't been on. I've only seen reviews on Apple Podcasts. I know other sites you can review stuff, but I have no idea how to find that because that's just not something that people put any effort into being able to easily find.
Yeah. I think you can do, not Spotify. SoundCloud, I think, has reviews too.
You can do comments, but
is that what it is?
Who listens to anything on SoundCloud?
Yeah.
Unless you're
listening to us on SoundCloud right now, which thank you for listening to us anywhere.
Yeah, but why would you be doing that why go to us when you can bring us to you in your whatever app you listen to your podcast?
Yeah, because that's the thing with SoundCloud is that you actively have to do anything on there.
Yeah. So it's on the Apple Podcasts page. I just want to go through if you want to hear your review read on the podcast, go leave a 5-star review over there.
Yeah.
So we have 8 ratings so far.
Woo.
7 of them 5 stars.
Hey.
And then 1 1-star rating. But that person didn't leave a comment, so I don't know. Folks, if you're gonna leave us a 1-star, you gotta tell us why.
What we're doing wrong. Tell us what you want to hear instead.
We can't change if we don't know what we're doing wrong.
I
mean, I know there's all kind. Where
that 1-star review is because we're all a bunch of soy boy feminist simps.
And then me.
that chew on microphone, but so some of the reviews on here. The newest one, just fairly recent. The headline is Best Brain Candy. Thanks for having nerdy ass conversations that last a long time, so I can listen to them while working my dumb desk job from home. Even enjoy the ones about things I know nothing about. So keep doing it. So
thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, reviewers out there.
We enjoy having needlessly long conversations about things.
Longer than the things go on for themselves sometimes.
Sometimes.
Hashtag Wonder Woman 84. 10 minutes longer than
the world
20 minutes longer than the movie. but maybe more enjoyable to experience. I don't know.
I mean, for me, the conversation was more enjoyable than the movie.
Yes.
Definitely
Same.
more laughs.
Yeah.
Were there
Well-
any jokes in that movie?
That
That were actually
purpose.
funny.
like
Yeah. I don't know.
I think the only thing that was supposed to elicit a laugh that did was, well, shit, Diana.
Yeah.
Only thing in the entire movie.
Like I can't think of any other. Well, I guess
That was really.
I guess
funny, though.
everything was. Everything.
I chalk
related
that
to-
up to Chris Pine and nobody else.
Yeah.
You do. It's his delivery of that fucking line.
Yeah.
channeling his Into the Spider-Verse Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess everything is like the comedy was Chris Pine coming back and having to experience the 80s.
It was like Man Out of Time, comedy edition.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure they were relying on the clothing montage to be jokes.
Go hear all of our full. Is that episode out already?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's been
you've
out for
already
a while.
heard our takes on that, so go
Yeah.
listen to that episode
If you haven't listened to it,
before we start another 2.5 hour long conversation about that goddamn movie.
the next review from all the way back in September, so this one's been sitting around for a while.
Oh, September.
Yeah. Very moist. So,
Why? Thank you.
hear that?
Perfect. Aces.
From back almost, exactly a year ago today.
Is that person just sitting outside of our house is blaring Morgan Wallen?
Yes, they were right behind Josh.
Folks, don't demonetize us. We didn't say it. Let's see. So a year ago today, what a hoot. Funky, wonky, and real. I don't know what that means, but thank you for that
But
review.
thank you.
Thank
I'll
you.
take it.
And this,
I mean, it's not wrong.
yeah. This is the quintessential Moist Boys review. I'm going to dox this person just because that's the reason why
Oh, no.
it's been referenced.
Oh, is it the one?
Yeah. So this review, 5-star review from Show Feet Guy.
Yes.
The headline, the Canadian guy sounds cute. And the body of the review is Show Feet. That's it.
Thanks, Show Feet Guy.
Thanks, Shofi guy. We fucking love you.
We do.
We stan Shofi guy at the
only-
Moist Boys
The
podcast.
only thing that made 2020 bearable was Show Feet Guy.
Yep.
So yeah, thank you all people who have left reviews. I always forget to look at that because if you don't have an iPhone, they make it I don't know.
They don't
what
just
the
make it
point-
readily available.
You can't I can't download Apple Podcasts. What you would think they
Oh,
would just
well,
make that
no.
available to everybody.
No, that is 100% Apple's MO, though. They are like MKBHD always talks about, like, I can't remember the exact phrasing he uses, but essentially like the garden walls of Apple,
Yeah.
of everything that like they're going to do is within those walls and it will never come out, essentially.
So I have to go into Chrome, bust in. Ow, I bit my tongue. Bust in just to look at the reviews, and it's a pain in the ass. So
Yeah. I bet you having a hashtag iPhone 11 here that I could probably go to podcasts, look up our podcast, and continue. Yes, I know it's been like 5 years since I've clicked on this thing. It's just going to start playing that episode.
Good job.
My bad.
good job.
Go to the page. Stop playing the episode. God damn it.
That's the same problem that Spotify has and the SoundCloud app is trying to get to the page, just automatically starts playing random episodes,
Yeah.
and it's a real pain in the ass.
Well, I have absolutely no idea how to work any. What is Hi, fellow kids. What is technology? Okay. I have to go to the library and then go to. Stop! Don't listen to me. I'm a fucking idiot. I don't know what I'm doing. Turns out, nope. Just because I have an iPhone doesn't mean I know how the world fucking works. Apparently.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to do, just because we're only 10 minutes into the episode, and I feel like I don't think there's gonna be too many hot takes about our film this week. So
Hot takes, no.
no.
Some takes, sure.
But I was listening to people talk about the highest grossing films of 2020, and I feel like of all the years, 2020 was the year of like, were there highest grossing movies? And of course there were because they made money, but it might not be the movies you would imagine.
I'm gonna project what I think it possibly could have been. I'm gonna say I'm gonna put, I think, Doolittle 1.
Oof.
I'm gonna say
Oh, Buck.
Call of the Wild, Call of the Wild 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Tenet 4.
I'd probably put Tenet higher than Call of the Wild.
Do you think?
Oh no, Tenet
It came out in
so
smack dab in the middle of everybody being like, yeah, no, I'm not fucking going anywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
And Christopher Nolan was like, no, you're going to go to the cinema and see my movie. And everybody was like, no, dude.
I don't know whose
It's gonna sound
idea
terrible, but
was.
is Christopher Nolan British?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally didn't know that.
What-
I don't know why. I just assumed that man was American. I just did.
Have you seen him always everywhere he goes in his blue button down and a waistcoat?
No, I've never seen a photo of Christopher Nolan, nor
Oh,
have I
okay.
ever watched an interview of him.
Basically, every interview is, you must go to the cinema to watch my movie.
to if you've never seen Christopher Nolan, imagine a doughier Leonardo DiCaprio from Inception.
Okay.
Basically, yeah.
That looks like a picture of a bat.
It's a gorilla.
Oh, I was looking it upside down for those listening, and they were like, "Who mistakes a gorilla for a bat?"
To be fair, it's a baby gorilla that's wrapped in a blankie because
That's why.
our local zoo just got a new baby gorilla.
Oh, had
but
a
she's-
pelican den.
But she's not bonding with her mom. That's not good.
Whoops.
Whoops.
Do you know who else didn't bond?
Maybe it's because her mom's a real bitch.
That's rude.
I have no idea.
Moviegoers with the box office last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
What were they actually?
So you got one of them 100% correct.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it was Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes.
Rad.
Sonic the Hedgehog was number 3. Coming in at number 10, Onward. Came out March 6th.
Oh, God, I forgot that was last year.
Yeah. A week before quarantine.
Yeah.
They premiered that one. I think that was the first. I feel like the first movie where they're like, what do we do with this? Just put it out for free,
Just put it out.
which was the perfect price for that movie.
Which was like that movie released, and then everybody was like, "Yeah, we can go into lockdown. Actually, movies aren't worth it."
Yeah, it's fine. Number 9, The Call of the Wild.
Oh, I was
you
way
were
off.
way off.
Yeah.
Way off.
There were 8 other movies you didn't know about.
Let's see. Onward made $61.5 million. Call of the Wild 62.3.
Some of that was Josh's money.
Yep. Well, it's hard to
Wait.
say because I had
You say Onward was 65, but
61.5.
61. Okay.
Yeah. It's hard to say because I had the whatever Regal Cinemas Movie Pass thing was called back then.
Oh yeah, not Movie Pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still some of your money went towards that.
$20 a month, I get to see as many movies as I want, and I just had to pay the 50-cent convenience fee,
Yeah.
which doesn't make any sense because it's like I'm paying you for your convenience of not having to do the whole ticket thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyway,
weird.
that's a whole other conversation. Number 8, coming in at $64.9 million, The Invisible Man.
Forgot that existed.
Yeah. And people said the movie's fine.
Yeah.
Number 7, with $77 million, Doolittle came out January 17th. So that movie did not get hurt by the pandemic, really.
No.
I can't imagine. It did get hurt by being bad.
Yeah. That movie did as well as it was going to.
The other movie you forgot came out in 2020 at $84.1 million, Birds of Prey, and the yada, yada, yada.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was 22. To be fair, in the 10 years it took to get through 2020, you forget some of these movies came out.
Yeah, 100%. Also, the first 3 months of 2020 don't get to count as 2020. That was
No.
like 2020 part 1, and it was not actually 2020. It was a whole different year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was,
That was 2019 1.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because it just, that one made sense. And then the rest of 2020 didn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
speaking of 2021.5, coming in at number 5 with $124.4 million, Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker made $124 million last year.
That came out in 2019, though.
It did,
Yeah.
but it still made that amount of money in 2020
Compared
because
to every other movie that came out last year.
Okay.
See, typically, new movies come out in a year that bump off the old movies.
Yeah.
But, no, not so much.
not so much in 2020.
Yikes.
Also from 3 of the top 5 movies from 2020 came out in 2020.
Oh.
Well, I mean, when like things release 2 weeks before, or a week and a half before the year ends, like
Yeah. Number 4 with $124.7 million, Jumanji: The Next Level.
was that another 2019 release?
Yeah.
Yep.
As we said, number 3, Sonic the Hedgehog, $146 million.
Good for them.
Probably my favorite movie from 2020 that's on this list. Probably the best movie from 2020
Probably
that's
the
on this list.
Best movie on that list.
Yeah. Coming in at number 2, $157.9 million. And this is because it only came out in like 2 or 3 theaters in 2019 because they wanted to get it ready for the big Oscar push. That's right. It's the best film of 2019, 1917.
Interesting.
But that's, again, like the wide release wasn't until like January, February before the Oscars.
Yeah.
So they can get that big push in there.
I never saw that movie.
It's a good movie.
Good movie?
Oh, yeah.
It's with some camera trickery, essentially one take.
Yeah, I think it's like 40 shots stitched together
Oh, okay.
to look
To look like one take.
2. It's essentially 2 takes.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And then coming in at number 1 with $204.4 million. Really other than 1917, the only like one that made the money you think it would have. I guess Sonic the Hedgehog 146 is
That's
not
pretty
bad.
respectable.
That had a month before it quarantine.
Yeah.
But Bad Boys for Life, the top
Oh.
20.
Woof.
Oh man,
Oh God! If that isn't just the absolute
bits.
perfect representation of 2020.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the top 10 films of 2020. Some honorable mentions here. Tenet came in at number 11, $57.9 million. The Gentleman, the new Guy Ritchie film. Go over to Moist Boys Reviews. Listen to my review of that. Christ, that movie sucked. Coming at number 14. Wonder Woman 1984, number 19, with $28.5 million.
Not surprised.
How did it even get box office?
Must have gotten a portion of the sales of something.
I mean, it did get released in theaters, but like people are going to theaters. Good God!
Yeah, not everybody lives in a.
Not everybody lives in not Texas or Florida.
For Tennessee. Frozen 2, number 20, with $26.9 million. That was from 2019?
Yeah,
The movie seems so old.
because last
was
year was 10 years
yeah.
long.
Oh, Christ. And then New Mutants, $23.8 million.
I might watch that eventually someday. Who knows?
If it ever if HBO ever picks it up, HBO Max.
Well, it would have to go to Disney Plus because it was Fox.
Would they
They're gonna bury
might put
it.
it on Hulu. It'll go.
It'll go to Hulu. Which means I'll never watch it because I go to Hulu 0.001% of the time.
I go to Hulu.
I always forget Hulu is a thing
Me too.
because
I don't.
Hulu is for when you watch shows that are on real TV.
Which I
Except those
don't
don't
really
exist
do
anymore.
anymore. Like I've noticed, like I've really dropped off of shows. Like there are shows that I'll think about and be like, man, I wonder if whatever happened to that. Oh, no, it's still going. I just don't watch it anymore.
Season 10.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it in 5 years. Oh yeah.
Like we just missed an entire season of This Is Us because I just don't go to Hulu ever.
Yeah, it's probably the third, as far as like the user interface, it's probably the second best app.
Yeah, it's not a bad interface.
It just it's ugly.
Yeah.
Because when they updated it to like pink and lime green for some reason, I was just like, this is not pleasant to look at. Why did they do this? And the answer is nobody knows. So yeah, 2020, folks, hell of a year.
Hell of a year.
It's a hell of a drug.
Speaking of 2020, our film this week takes place in 2020.
That it does.
Didn't get anything right, the dumbasses, but
I mean, I would argue they got enough right.
cowboy hats did make a big resurgence in 2020.
Goddamn right they did.
Dressing like the Texas oil baron from The Simpsons was everywhere in 2020.
Fucking peak 2020 right there. Fucking button down with a tie, no sleeves. Peak 2020.
Oof.
Who is that? Who? Somebody? Does Huge Jackman do that?
I think huge jacked man at one point was wearing that.
Yes, 100%.
This week we're talking about. I'll let Jonathan intro this one since this was his. So for those of you that haven't listened to other episodes, our 2020 recap. Each month, with the exception of March, because last year that we started a thing, and I like doing that. It was a fun thing to do, and
It's a fun thing to do. I enjoy that thing.
I feel like doing that going forward is going to work. And to avoid being lumped in with Hot Topic, we're not going to do anime. We're doing Animarch.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I think this goes without saying, but fuck Hot Topic.
Hot Topic is better now than it was.
Hot Topic's there. We can just,
Yeah.
it's just there.
If you need...
It's better now that it is actually run by the man as opposed to people who were damning the man.
If you need your Cuphead merchandise, there's nowhere better to go.
Nowhere finer.
If you need to look at your wall of Funko Pops, you go to Hot Topic.
Yeah, don't buy them. Just go to Hot Topic and look at your collection of Funko Pops.
These are mine. I keep them here. I change them out regularly. I don't remember what the point of that. I don't know how we got there from.
I don't know.
Oh, but
Because you two are drunk tonight, apparently.
margaritas will do that to a man.
3 hours ago?
It's a
hell
slow
of a drug.
release. But yeah, we're starting some new shows. We're doing our Christopher Nolan recaps. We're going through his catalog.
Backwards.
Yep. But one of the shows we're going to do is each month someone's going to pick a thing that in various metrics is maligned or unpopular or
Forgotten about.
Lost to time.
and we're gonna be here. We're gonna be the ones here to tell you that it's good actually, which is the current front runner for the name of this series.
Yeah.
And for various reasons, I think just for shits and giggles, Jonathan's gonna go. His pick is going first because it's the easiest one.
Because it was super accessible. It is on Netflix, or if you're a fucking rube, you can go and buy it on Prime for $20.
What?
Yeah, that is what I'm on the IMDb page right now, and the top listing is like, watch on Prime Video, buy from $19.99. It's like, I'm gonna click more watching options and go to the one that is like essentially free. Because I'm just paying for the system and not the fucking...
Because I'm paying for my child's television.
Yeah.
And I get to occasionally access it.
I am paying money so that my child can watch fucking Camp Cretaceous and Hilda, and every once in a while, I get to watch movies.
Also, we're watching Camp Cretaceous.
Also, we're watching Camp Cretaceous and Hilda. But today we are talking about 2011's Real Steel, starring Hugh Jackman,
Hugh
Evangeline Lilly, and God damn it, I
Everybody's
just
favorite
clicked
wife.
the fucking thing. Piece
Dakota
of shit.
Goya,
Thank you.
Kevin Durant, not Kevin Durant, the basketball player. This isn't Uncut Gems. This
Yeah,
is,
Kevin Durant with a D.
yeah. Oh, he got
Anthony
the D all right.
Mackie.
Anthony.
A surprise Anthony
A
Mackie.
surprise Anthony Mackie.
Yeah, never mad about that.
A wild Anthony Mackie appeared, and we were happy.
Again, Hope Davis, James Rebhorn.
Gotta love some James Reborn, which he's not, unfortunately.
Phil Lamar and fucking David Allen Bash just appear randomly as ESPN fucking commentators, and you're like,
why are those voice actors?
why are those two guys that I know from other random things in this movie all of a sudden?
Holy shit.
The same reason Jason Bateman is officiating a dodgeball tournament? Dodgeball?
I mean, yeah. And Gary Cole.
Oh, he was an actor in that. Okay. The screenwriter is Ian Norbit.
Yikes.
Oh, he wrote Real Steel too. Or he's the creator of it.
Hey, look at that.
Oh, he wrote it.
Good for him. Directed by Sean Levy,
Yeah.
who has done other movies, but we're talking about this one.
Real Steel.
Yeah, the writer of this, like, my hottest take is the writer of this has a real...
Hit or miss.
You got Flight, you got Need for Speed, you got Kong, Skull Island, you got the 2017 Power Rangers, which only has a 5.9. I feel like that's a little low.
I've never seen that.
Maybe keep an eye out for that one, folks. Maybe not. Who knows? He also wrote Real Steel 2 that came out in 2018. I can't imagine it's involved. It's similar at all, though.
Wait, he wrote that one?
Yeah. John Gattens wrote that. Story by Dan Gilroy, who also wrote Kong Skull Island. He must be friends with this guy then. Or their son. I don't know. But yeah. Directed by Sean Levy, who's probably most famous now for Stranger Things. He was a producer on that.
Yeah. He was also producer on Arrival.
Which probably he had less involvement in. Judging by the aesthetics of that film compared to the rest of his stuff that he's done.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, Jonathan, why did you pick Real Steel as your first It's Good Actually submission?
Because I feel like people don't remember this movie exists. But god damn it, I fucking love this movie.
It's got everything.
It's got everything. Do you like hot dudes? You got it. Do you like hot ladies? You got it. Do you like hot robots? You got it. I'm not going to say children. I could see you prepping your mic over there like,
Do you like-
motherfucker, stop while you're ahead.
Do you like kids doing hot dance moves?
This movie's got it.
Do you like kids doing the bye 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 dance from fucking
10
Backstreet Boys?
years before this came
NSYNC,
out.
sir?
Or
It's the same band.
It is not.
I
and
knew
will
that this
fight
morning
You.
when I was thinking about it in the shower. I was like, he really was doing the bye 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 from NSYNC, wasn't he? It's a little bit of bye bye bye, a little bit of whip and nay nay. It's like he combined those two into a dance.
Yeah, there
with
you
a
go.
little bit of the Jester dance for those of you that are online that have seen that.
The only thing that I think this movie, to be fair, I think between 2011, by the end of 2011 until like 2020, nobody thought, oh yeah, Eminem's still going to be a thing. But here we are,
And he's still a thing.
and he's still a thing.
Somehow.
That part of the soundtrack still holds up. The new metal shit, okay, when I say holds up, I mean
Relevant?
like relevant. The new metal shit, on the other hand, while people are trying to make new metal, that's NU metal, by the way,
No,
come
it's dead.
back. It's fucking dead. Please stop. No, we don't need more Limp Bizkit in the world.
Please, God, no.
Fred Durst, just keep making your John Travolta biopics.
Maybe don't do that either.
Just don't do that.
Maybe don't do things.
And then, I mean, yeah, other than that, like, obviously they got 2020 wrong, sure, but who could have, predicted global catastrophic fucking
I didn't
pandemic?
read the Farmer's Almanac last year. They might have predicted predicted it.
They might have predicted it, actually.
Maybe they should have read the Farmer's Almanac before they wrote.
Fucking old man Biff Tannen coming back with his goddamn almanac and this,
The Cubbies win the pennant.
you gotta make this bet, son.
This movie's got a lot of heart in it.
Yeah.
It's got, but it also has robots smashing each other to bits.
It really has. So we've done one episode so far because I mean not last year, but I mean fucking whenever we were doing it, I don't know. But there have been conversations about like fathers, like dad movies.
Yeah, we did.
Broken Arrow.
Broken Arrow. We're definitely planning on doing more of those. Hashtag dad movies.
Hashtag save me.
Because I know it might be parlayed into
Yeah,
this
if
series.
I could do my dad movies, then as not a part of the series and just as dad movies will be great.
Yeah. But this is 100% like
A millennial dad movie.
yeah, like Father's Day, me on the couch in my robe watching this movie. Yes. Sign me the fuck up.
Watch it with commercial breaks for Old Liberty. Fucking
Liberty.
TNT Sunday afternoon, 2 p.m.
God, yeah.
or those random times when they're just like, it's 2:17, time to start a new movie.
Time to start a movie.
But why?
Yeah, this is how I'm spending my Father's Day. Keep my kid away from me. I'm watching Real Steel.
I got my real son.
And his name is Hugh Jackman.
I was thinking
He might
the
be
kid.
older than me, but he's still my real son.
Yeah, he's my real Hugh Jackman. Can you be my dad
and son at the same time.
and son? It'll be a weird relationship dynamic, but I'm fine with it if you are.
Speaking of weird relationship dynamics, what the fuck is going on with Hugh Jackman and Evangeline Lilly in this?
They boned once a while back,
Is this
and
like
then he's
No. Her dad
Boned
was
Hugh Jackman
was
once.
was his coach
yeah,
and mentor,
yes,
and so they grew up together.
kind of, and then they definitely smashed,
They definitely smashed.
and then he turned into a complete loser, and she was
To
like,
be fair, I'm pretty sure they probably smashed when he was smashing anything to get his hands on,
yeah,
because he at one point was a boxer who had a pretty decent rep
yeah,
and knocked some lady up.
yeah.
Yeah. Is this one of those movies similar to almost at Empire's Last Stand? I must almost combined like 20 different sequels.
Clearly,
But Raiders of the Lost Ark where
That classic movie, Empire's Last Dance.
they wrote the screenplay, hired an actress, didn't look at the calendar to make sure what they wrote in the screenplay matched up, where people did the math and they're like
If we go back
20 years.
20
she was
years.
like 10 years old at the time you guys realized that, right? And I was like, it's fine.
it's fine. I mean, I feel like
What's her name?
Hope
She's
Davis.
Marion Ravenwood in the Raiders of the Lost Ark. What's the actress's name?
Shit. Karen Allen?
Yeah, Karen Allen. She was like 20 years old at the time, and they're like, yeah, 10 years ago when I was with your father. And they're like, that math doesn't check out. And I feel like this is one of those similar situations. Like, yeah, we have to have it take place 15 years, X number of years ago. And no one was like, how old's Evangeline Lilly again? How old
Yeah.
is Hugh Jackman again? Could
Nah,
that
don't
math
do that math.
match up? It doesn't.
Well,
matter.
okay,
Don't think
here's-
about it too hard.
Yeah, well, like
It's Hollywood, it
Hugh
doesn't
Jackman,
matter.
Hugh Jackman, like smashed his ex 12 years ago,
Yeah.
and then they had a kid that he was like, "Yep, had a kid, deuces." And then maybe after that point is when he was like still hot shit as a boxer, smashed with Evangeline Lilly.
I guess it is vague enough that it can work, but it is also the way they talk about things. It makes it seem like
It was
wasn't-
all pre-kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's hard to say. I guess credit to the screenwriters for being vague enough that you can circle that square in your head.
Yeah, exactly.
Hard enough. It's like, don't think about it. It's
Just
fine.
don't think about it. never mind.
Kevin Spacey doing the
No.
peering out behind the tree,
Jesus.
rubbing his hands, licking his lips. GIF.
What?
Folks, get that image out of your head right away.
Get it out of your purge that from your brain. I don't know. I just
What
something.
is that from the zeitgeist, actually?
Yeah, something about this movie. I remember. So Heather and I went and saw it in the theater, and then hadn't really thought about it since. But like, it's just one of those movies that I always just remember exists, and I'm always curious if other people know that it even is out there. So when we decided to rewatch it, I was like, man, I'm excited to watch this movie. I wonder if it's gonna hold up, or if it's gonna just be like, oh man, I can understand why I liked it then, but it's trash now. But like from minute one, this movie, something about this movie is just so cozy that I just want to sit down and watch it, and I just enjoy every moment of it. Even the moments where you know that Hugh Jackman is a complete asshole sack of shit and he's going to get everything that is coming to him, and it eventually happens, and you only kind of feel bad because it happens to him in front of his kid.
Yeah, I feel bad more that the kid is involved in that than
Yeah.
than the fact that it's happening to Hugh Jackman.
Exactly.
You're just like, oh no, poor kid. This
Oh,
is
they stole his
traumatizing.
money. Oh.
They stole his money. Oh, that's sad. This is traumatizing for him.
But goddamn right, Jackman, you don't fuck with people like that.
Yeah, it is. I don't know if it's because things have just gotten so terrible recently, but it was nice to see a movie where a character is quote unquote bad, but not actually that bad. Like he's kind of a jerk,
Yeah.
as opposed to being like an absolute sociopath, which I feel like you get a lot more now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
After
people
House,
like
He's
Not
kind of
After
a
House,
shit
but-
show.
yeah.
He's just like a disaster person, not like
Yeah, and it's one of those things where, and you can tell that it comes from a place of desperation. And so it's like, oh, this is just all character choice. It's not just like you were saying, somebody who's just a sociopath played as an anti-hero. And it's like, no, that person's just a serial killer.
yeah.
Like, they're not just going to be cool in the last 5 minutes of this. They're just cool in the last 5 minutes of this thing. Okay, fine. Yeah, why not? But everything that he's doing is from a position of like, no, I just need my break. I just need my break. If I just keep going, I will get past this. I will push through and I will get my big break and I can do all this stuff. I just have to fucking screw over everybody I can on my way to that. And then once I'm there, I'll just be on easy street and it won't matter anymore.
Actually, I think he believes he'll pay everybody back.
That's what I was
Yeah.
going to say. I don't think he's trying to screw everybody over. I think he's like, I just need it. I just need people to be with me until I can get there, and then I'll pay everybody back and it'll be fine.
Well, that's the thing of like, yeah, like not consciously like I'm going to screw everybody over, but like that is what happens. And so like when at one point like he goes to Anthony Mackie and Anthony Mackie is just like, are you fucking kidding me right now, dude?
Everybody knows you're a bad bet, man.
Yeah, like no, man, that's not
I'm
going to happen.
actively going to bet against you, actually.
Yeah, it's like I think it's everything leading up to that point is him being that person, and then like it's that moment where he kind of starts to turn a little bit and is like, man, you know what? I think I might be a sack of shit, actually.
Yeah, but I like the turn isn't huge. It's not like there's not like huge piano music.
Yeah,
Like he goes, talks to Evangeline Lilly, they make out a little bit, and he's like, "Well, I gotta go pick up my son now," and that's it. But in a way that is believable, as opposed to like nobody gives a big speech and there's no like strings and piano and
Yeah.
and he's crying and he's kind of like,
it's because
you know what?
his character doesn't change that much. He just stops deciding to screw people over,
yeah,
but he's still going to continue to do things. Like he's still making the same choices, minus the trying to get his money from other people. Like he's still actively trying to win robo fights. He's still actively going to be leading the same life, except for I don't need your money because I have my own money now. It's easy to make a change of not screwing people over when you don't have to anymore.
yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that I like is that, and I think part of the reason why it might have not been so popular is that it came out in a time, and I don't know if you still see this as much anymore, but like I had imagined that the relationship between him and his son would be much more them getting one up on each other back and forth, which is like a thing that happens a lot in movies like this, where two characters, like, I kept imagining it was going to be a series of escalations where each one is trying to get one over on the other one.
Yeah.
And then like you would see like he like from outside of like the scene when they first meet each other, there is not the we're getting along but I have to pretend like we're not. It's just kind of like they're just like, we just kind of get along now.
Yeah, we kind of coexist in the same space, and
Yeah, it's not like
it's getting better.
there's not like the thing where Hugh Jackman's looking at his son and then he has to look away and wipe a tear and sad music. It's just like
the kid looks at him and he's like smiling at him. Let's turn away really quick and be like, I can't be smiling at my kid.
Yeah.
Like, they don't do that kind of
Yeah.
bullshit.
Which
just
is
like-
nice.
yeah.
yeah. I mean, it literally takes Kevin Durant beating him up to be like, you know what? It's probably not the best place to have a child.
You probably, yeah.
My child almost got beat up last night. It's probably
Which is the thing that like that I really like also, that the movie, like at the end when he shows up at the aunt's doorstep and is basically just like, look, you have rights to this kid. This is your kid. I know I have absolutely no right to do anything, but it's really important to him that we do this thing. Can we go do this thing? And then that thing happens, and then the movie's over, and there's no like,
He fights for his custody.
he
back.
fights for his custody. Like, there's no like, had this movie been made 10, 20 years earlier, there absolutely would have been a scene where the aunt meets them in a hallway later on and is just like, you know what? You know what's best for insert name of kid here? To be with his father.
what is that kid's name?
His name was Max.
Yeah.
Like, what Max needs is to be with his father. It's like, no, what Max needs is to be in a stable home.
Yeah.
And
Not
that's
live-
what those two are going to give him.
to carry on a relationship with his dad, but not
But that
to
needs to
live
be
with
his
him.
choice.
Yeah.
And like, yeah. And so like it's one of those things where like it really does that shit right.
Yeah, because I can definitely see, like, after this movie, him taking them back to the aunt and then being like, hey, maybe in a couple weeks, can we do this again? Can we hang out again?
Yeah. Like,
And
you
like
get
slowly
to,
building that relationship back.
yeah. What and that's one of the things that like I like about this is you get to headcanon what happens past this, and it's not just like, here's the happy ending with the fucking bow on top of it. It's like, no, that kid is their kid now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They won that fight. There's gonna be a whole life after this.
Well, air quotes, won that fight.
Quote quote.
They're the people's winner.
They're the
Yeah.
people's winner.
The other before there's a couple things that I'm just like, meh. But I can understand why they did it, but I'm still like, meh. But I do like that James Rebhorn and Hope Davis could very easily have become the villains, but they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like at the beginning, like when she comes in with the sunglasses and the hat, you're like, oh, she's gonna be some snooty bitch, and he's like some rich asshole guy. But not really.
No, they actually just want. They're just that way towards Hugh Jackman because Hugh Jackman is such a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they're that way for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you get to see her interactions with him, she doesn't talk down to him really. She
Yeah.
just treats him like a kid his age. Like,
I thought you were talking about Hugh Jackman, but also that.
oh
too.
yeah, no, she definitely talks down to Hugh Jackman. She doesn't talk down to Max. She just treats Max like a kid whose mom just died. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
she's known him his whole life. You know what I mean? Like, he's gonna react that way to no matter who he talks to right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how you can tell this was made in the 2010s and not the 90s, because I've seen Liar Liar, and I know is it
I've
Jennifer
seen
Tilly
The
in
Parent
that?
Trap.
Jennifer Tilly is his client.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen Liar Liar. I know how this character was written in the 90s.
Yeah.
And this definitely wasn't that. And I think having like Steven Spielberg executive producing things is real hit or miss. And I think this is one of the hits, and I think this is one of the things where like, you know, that when he has his secretary's assistant's cousin read scripts for him. They're like, we know what Steven likes. And this was one of the things like, hey, Steve, you want to give us a couple $1,000,000 for this? And he's like, okay.
Okay. The only thing I would say the one thing that just like goes into the territory of like the rich people are the bad guys is when James Reborn is like, what's this going to cost for you to let us go on vacation, essentially?
On the other hand, I'm with him on that one.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna go on vacation with my hot 30-year.
I was gonna say, if
need
it's
no kids there.
Yeah, if it's between having a kid with me or taking Hope Davis on a nice vacation where it's just the two of us, yeah, I'm putting up some money to.
Also, then he'd have to try to find tickets for the flights, and then have to
Yeah.
make sure the kid had a bed in the hotel rooms, and like it's
which
not.
admittedly would have cost less than $100,000.
Yeah,
But alternatively,
then you can have sex on your vacation.
Yeah.
smashing every night is worth $100,000. The Steven Spielbergisms that I'm not a huge fan of, and like on the one hand, I can understand it because turn on ESPN and the fucking shit they say sounds like this, but it gets really hokey quite a few times, especially towards the end.
Yeah. I mean, Spielberg is hokey. Hot take. There's your one hot take for this fucking episode.
My hot take, Catch Me If You Can's not that great because it is hokey as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, reduce the hokey by 70%, and that movie is 10 times better in my estimation. But, like, there's so much hokiness in that episode that the word hokey is now lost all meaning, and I just can't stop saying hokey, and I don't know if it's a word anymore. Help. Yeah, well, like, it's, on the one hand, it is, all the announcer stuff is pretty hokey, to be fair. Like,
Yeah. I mean, it always
it
is.
accurate to reality, but on the other hand, like, does that mean I want to watch it? Not
Yeah.
necessarily. Yes, these characters would listen to new metal. Do I want to hear that in my soundtrack? No.
But again, that is a credit to the people writing this, that they were just like, what is the stupidest shit? They'd like probably combed all 27 ESPNs and were just like, God, these people really talk like this, don't they? All right, it's going in the movie.
All you have to do is watch like one of the pregame shows on like CBS or NFL or NBC
Yeah.
on NFL Sunday, and you'll be like, okay, yeah, these guys like they're hired because they played football, not because they're MIT scientists. So.
Yeah.
My other big complaint about the ending, and it kind of goes nowhere, and it doesn't really. There's never really any stakes because you know this is the kind of movie where that's not going to happen. Is that Kevin Durant does not need to come back after he beats up Hugh Jackman. That is the end of his
No.
storyline.
Yeah.
That whole thing with him at the end where he
he lost
doesn't
a
interact
bunch of-
with the story at all.
Where he loses
Yeah.
a bunch of fucking money just because.
To Anthony Mackie,
I guess because we have to be like, no, he's a bad guy though. Like
he has
just
to lose big time. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't need that.
Nope.
It doesn't do anything.
Like,
And
what
we
was-
don't need that character. We don't need that character anymore.
Yeah. What would have been the stakes if he had won? He would have gotten money.
Yeah, lots of fucking money.
But like he wasn't going to beat up Hugh Jackman again, so it's not like
Nope.
like
There's no sort of Damocles anymore. Like it's
yeah, like if he had been like throw the fight or I'm gonna murder you and your son, that would be something. But again,
Yeah.
like
he has no more agency in the story.
yeah, and that's like I feel like even like the closest thing to this movie has to a villain is his character, but even that like yeah, if Hugh Jackman owed me $30,000, I'd probably beat
he's
him
not
up too.
like he's not beating up his kid and stealing his kid's money.
That's over the line.
Yeah.
over the line.
Market
beating-
fucking zero.
But beating up Hugh Jackman, not over the line.
Beating up Hugh Jackman, the expectation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Hugh Jackman, And folks, we're having this conversation like you've seen the movie. Hopefully you have, because otherwise you would have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah. I guess now is the perfect time. Pause this. Go watch the movie.
Whoops.
Sorry for all the spoilers.
It's fine. Like, this is an unspoilable. You know how it's going to end
Yeah.
as soon as it starts.
Yeah.
You know how a movie ends when you watch the trailer. When you hear the theme music. What was Hugh Jackman's accent in this? I feel like he was trying for a couple of different things and never really landed on anything. It
He
was kind
was-
of Southern, a little bit Canadian, a little bit.
This is one of those times that I
Chicago.
remember that Hugh Jackman has a different accent,
Yeah.
because I'm like, oh, you're not doing any one thing well. That's right. You have a different accent.
Oh, right. You're Australian.
You're Australian. I totally forget these things.
Because, like, the accent he uses around his son is different from the one he uses in the boxing ring, but not in a way where he's like code switching between situations. It's just a different accent that he's doing in those scenes.
I think
Probably
for the
because
most
they shot
part,
them lumped together like that.
I assume for the most part that he is just trying. He's just
Trying to sound as American as he can without picking one certain American accent.
kind of. I feel like he's just trying to do his Wolverine,
But not as Canadian.
but not as Canadian. And so he's like, yeah, he's trying to like bring it down from that a little bit and just be like, how would Wolverine talk if he was from nondescript area of the U.S. of A. And I think that's kind of just what he landed on. And I don't know. Okay, so obviously in this movie, we have to talk about the robot fights, which unfortunately, as the movie progresses, look worse and worse.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Like all the underground shit, aces.
Yeah.
Once the entire fucking arena is also a cartoon, not good.
The robots always look good. Like to the extent that I'm not sure what was practical and what was digital.
Yeah. Well, so I was just looking in the trivia and they both made physical robots and CG robots.
Yeah.
And so I think they did the what Marvel for some fucking reason does to Tom Holland is they put him in a Spider-Man costume and then paint over his Spider-Man costume
'Cause he
with
can't-
cartoons.
He has to be a smooth boy. Is Kevin Spacey one of the secret producers of the Marvel universe?
So we got to make that a smooth boy.
I need that boy smooth.
Jesus.
I mean, it makes sense in this because, unlike Tom Holland, big models of robots can't move.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know to what, because there are definitely moments where they're dealing with a real thing, and then moments where it's like, oh yeah, that's obviously like that's not a real thing anymore.
Yeah, but it looks close enough.
Yeah. The robots always look good until they get into arena fights, and then everything has the same exact amount of shiny on it,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it
like
just really is distracting.
there's a matte finish on the air of the arenas.
Yeah.
is like, I guess you would like, you can see the individual, like the fake spotlights that they put. You can see like the dots from those.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's not how it works.
It's like you thought to put in, oh, everything is going to be reflecting off of this surface crystal clear as possible, but you didn't think, well, we should make a model of the spotlight that's going to be making that light. You just like the spotlight starts there, and that's
Yeah.
where you have your light effect starting from. Like, guys, chill out a little bit.
Margaritas are good.
Margaritas are good. But anyway, the robot fights though. The robot fights are pretty solid. Because sitting through this movie again, the robot fights are 30% of what I'm here for.
Yes, they are mostly short.
Yeah.
The last one does go on for quite a
bit.
while.
Yeah. But that's because that is the main event of the movie.
Yeah,
And also, it really did last a while.
It
Yeah.
really did. Yeah.
that was the whole point. The there's definitely pushing the envelope of what they could do with the budget that they had.
Yeah.
And you can see for the most part you can see where the money ended up. Unlike some movies where like this cost $250 million and you're like, how did this who ran off with the $150 million?
Some shit got embezzled here because I'm not seeing this on the screen at all.
Yeah, shout out to the Joss Whedon cut of Justice League. Where it's like, this is the most expensive movie ever made. Huh. But
Costs a lot of money to make a cartoon mouth on a grown ass man.
but this like it's nice seeing where all you can see the money. You can see the money for the budget on the screen.
Yeah.
And not all of it went to Hugh Jackman. So I was just looking at his IMDb around this time. And this was a weird time for Hugh Jackman.
Between X-Mans.
Yeah. Because like he was doing like he had his action movies, he had his X-Men. That was kind of his big breakout. Then he tried to be like, am I going to be a romantic comedy guy? That didn't really last very long. Am I a dramatic guy? No.
His Kate and Leopold times. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that was like
Way before this, I know.
way
but
before this, but yeah.
Then you had like Van Helsing, which that's a
Oh
movie.
God, I forgot that was the thing.
Jesus, that will never be on the It's Good Actually.
No.
I'm drawing that line in the sand right fucking now.
X-Men Last Stand also never going to be on there.
No.
Then he started. Then he did The Fountain with
That movie.
yeah, with Darren Aronofsky, and then he did The Prestige with Christopher Nolan back to back.
Oh, I like The Prestige.
Folks, keep an eye out for that one.
Yeah, we'll
September,
be doing that one.
August.
Yeah, it was somewhere in there.
The Fountain is one of those movies where I'm just like, oh yeah, that fucked me up for a little bit.
Did you? Let's see here. 2006. Did you watch that movie too young?
No, I don't think I watched it till 2008.
Oh, okay,
I think it was like the year before we met.
gotcha. Because I've only seen like production stills from that movie, and I'm just like, this movie looks like a goddamn nightmare.
It's good,
Depressing as fuck.
but
it's
in a
Darren
weird way.
Aronofsky.
It's good
so,
in a weird way.
yeah.
Like a Darren Aronofsky movie.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude who did fucking everybody's favorite good time, feel good, Black Swan, and or
Requiem for a Dream.
Requiem for a Dream.
I was gonna say it fucked my brain up like Requiem for a Dream did. That would be why.
that's that dude. That's what he does.
I watched those two movies about 3 to 4 months apart from each other, I think.
Yikes.
So,
I watched Requiem for a Dream at probably 13 years old.
that's right.
about
We've had that discussion.
Yeah.
15 years too early.
15
I
years
was
too
gonna
early.
say, I watched it at 19 and that was too early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I think it was for, like some friends had
project?
school project, so they had to rent it, and they were a few years older than I was.
It's
Not
still
old
too-
enough.
That's still
Not
too
old
young.
enough. Like this was like
Still
a
too
high
young.
school fucking film class.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck.
Well, why
I
did that
don't-
teacher got fired?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that I watched Requiem for a Dream as a guy's way of basically friend zoning me.
Yikes!
Because that was the movie I watched at his house. Before Netflix and chill, folks. You invited girls over to watch movies.
To watch Darren Aronofsky films and
That-
not smash.
I think that's how I was being friend zoned.
It's like, we're gonna watch this.
Yeah.
We're gonna experience some shit tonight. None of what you planned for.
You are definitely not going to want to hit this when we're done. Let's go.
Let's see. But then he did Flushed Away, where he played a rat that lived in a toilet. He was in Happy Feet.
Oh, I liked Happy Feet.
He was
I
in
liked
something
Happy
called
Feet. I don't care.
Deception with Ewan McGregor. Then he hit a rough patch. He was in Australia with Nobody Remembers, the Baz Luhrmann movie that
The
time
movie
forgot.
that didn't ever want to end. Isn't that the one that had like 4 endings?
It's entirely possible. I feel like I've heard that about that movie.
Yeah.
I've
We haven't
never-
seen it. I just remember that review of like, you think it's going to end and then it doesn't. And then you think it's finally going to end and it doesn't.
Speaking of things that never end, X-Men Origins Wolverine came out after that.
Ugh.
Then he took a little bit of a, I guess not really a break, but they rebooted the X-Men with First Class. He had a
Brief cameo in.
cameo in that. Then he was in something called Butter, which I feel like I've seen that.
He was also in, good Lord, 1, 2, 3 movies in 2011. Well, 4 movies technically, but one's a cameo.
Yeah.
A Snowflower and the Secret Fan. Whatever the hell that is. That's a rad dress.
Yeah, Butter, he's banging Olivia Wilde in that, I want to say. I don't know. I barely remember that.
Ty Burrell.
Yeah.
Rob Corddry.
Mm-hmm.
Alicia Silverstone. Oh, no. Jennifer Garner. Ugh.
Jennifer Garner's fine.
She is. Yeah, okay.
And then he did Real Steel, Rise of the Guardians, Les Miserables, Movie 43. And I feel like it wasn't until
Goddamn.
the Wolverine that his career kind of turned back around. Like he was in a rough patch there for a while.
Yeah.
Of just things that people didn't remember and wanted to forget.
Rise of the Guardians is pretty good.
It's also a cartoon, so I feel like that, like the amount of effort that he has to put into being involved with that, I feel like is lower than for the rest of these. He wasn't on set for 3 months like he was on
Les Mis.
fucking Movie 43.
Movie 43.
That was probably Weekend though too.
I mean, yeah, because that was just a movie of little vignettes.
Hold the fucking phone. I'm just now seeing the Wolverine has a 6.7 on IMDb.
Oh, shit.
The fuck?
Okay, keep an eye out for that one.
That's a hot take right there.
That's future episode. See, his thing is kind of all over the place, though.
I'm not sure
Because-
he knows what he wants. Like, he wants to be a movie star, and he doesn't. Like outside of that, I don't think he has any plans. So he just does whatever.
Kind of. I think all that X-Men stuff, like once First Class started, I think it was all just contractual. They were just like, bro, you're locked into this shit.
Yeah.
We're still making these movies. And he was like, I just want to go get more Tony Awards. Just let me go do that. Please.
And you're like, no.
Please, can I just go dance on a piano again? That
No.
was fun. I liked that.
You know what? We'll let you be in The Greatest Showman.
We'll let you be in fucking Pan.
I feel like those were passion projects for him. God help us.
Yeah.
I know Greatest Showman was. I'm sorry. I'm
I
never gonna watch.
liked it.
I have a personal vendetta against that movie.
Is it because of Zac Efron? Because I actually liked it.
No, it's not because of Zac Efron, who is absolutely a made-up character for this thing, because that guy never existed. Also, missed opportunity to have him be Bailey.
Yeah.
But I have a personal vendetta against this movie because
it lets you believe that he's a good guy.
that, and they do everything in their power to not do history.
Yeah.
Like
They should have just not made it about him. Like,
kind of like the fucking singer lady in that movie. Actually, super cool lady. Not actually as portrayed in that
not
as
a mistress.
not yeah, like super cool lady who did a lot of stuff for fucking girls in that time.
It's not it doesn't state that she actually slept with him. It just stated that he wanted to sleep with her.
Well, okay, but like, and anyway, just everything about that movie, they went out of their way to like jerk off the ghost of P.T. Barnum, and that's just not. I am personally done with air quote biopics like that.
Yeah. He was also in Prisoners, which was a good film. Eddie the Eagle, a movie that exists that you can watch. I feel like it's similar to it's a lot of similarities to Real Steel, where he plays a former successful alcoholic that has to get back into the game to succeed.
It's got
For
Taron
younger-
Egerton in it.
Younger man. Yeah, it's a fine film. I absolutely refuse to believe that Chappie is better than the Wolverine. That is mind-boggling to me because Chappie is one of the worst films I have ever watched in my life.
Interesting. Ooh, we got to do a Chappie episode. Got to get Josue on here. Josue fucking loves that movie.
That movie is the reason that I will always appreciate the PlayStation. Well, which one was I on at that point? It must have been PlayStation 4. That movie is why I appreciate that the PS4 lets you play at 1.5 speed with full audio integration. Because I had to watch that movie on 1.5 speed because you think it's about Dev Patel and Chappie. No, it's about D. Antwoord and Chappie. And who fucking wants to watch that movie? Not me, because those are the two most obnoxious people in the world. Anyway, Real Steel.
I was gonna say, now that we're done going through the filmography of Hugh Jackman, let's move on to Evangeline Lilly. No, but this dude has had a fairly interesting and kind of all over the place career.
Yeah.
Like every time he pops up in something, I'm always like, oh, hey, good for him. But I don't necessarily.
He's not the draw.
Yeah.
I don't think he's never been bad in anything. But him being in it is not like, ooh, Hugh Jackman's in something. It's
I gotta go.
like,
I gotta go catch that new Jackman flick.
who's Hugh Jackman's in it? I wonder what that's gonna be.
Yeah.
Which is weird for like someone that's like trying to do the action or not action star, but like movie star thing. Like Tom Cruise, you know what you're getting every time.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman,
He's just
rolling
in
the dice.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in any movie that'll have him. One thing I wish he would stop doing though, based on his IMDb profile photo, is put down the Just for Men. Just let it go. Hugh, that's not real. That's not real. Your IMDb photo, that's not real. That's not really you, bro. Yeah, Evangeline Lilly. I don't care, like, say what you will about the Ant-Man films and who could have an opinion about those, but she's not the problem with those movies.
No.
No.
It's mostly, I think it's mostly, I feel like, culture and screenplay, but she's pretty good. She's pretty good in this.
Yeah.
I've never seen her be bad in anything.
Same. I have a weird.
What have I seen her in, though, other than Lost? Let me check real quick, because I don't know if I've actually seen her in anything.
The Hobbit, which again, she wasn't
was
bad.
fine.
She was
Just
not
bad
the
movies.
probably.
Yeah, I have a weird like hot and cold thing with her where I'm just like, oh yeah, Evangeline Lilly. Okay, I could take or leave. But at the same time, like I've never seen her be bad in anything. I don't know why I'm the asshole. I just am.
Well, she's in the Adam Scott show on Netflix about the evil child.
Oh,
Yeah, so it turns out she's not in a ton of things.
yeah.
No. I think she's the opposite of Hugh Jackman, where she's very particular about what she does. Possibly. Or she possibly is just not getting her number called a lot.
I think
I think the issue is
she's Canadian
she's Canadian, huh?
that lives in Canada, so she has to get
That's
her.
not an issue.
That's
she has to get a work visa every time she
yeah,
does anything. Which I found out she almost wasn't in Lost because of that. Because
crazy.
yeah, she got her visa the day before they were supposed to start filming, and so she like rolled out onto set. And they're like, action.
Jesus.
It's a good thing I'm supposed to look like I just survived a plane crash because I don't have time for literally anything to start rolling.
Yeah, so the last thing she was in was Avengers Endgame, and before that, Ant-Man the Wasp, Ant-Man, The Hobbit, and Real Steel.
Oh wow, yeah. Yeah, her fucking number just does not come up that often, I guess.
People probably just have the same thing with you. You're just like, she's there.
Yeah. But yeah, she's good.
You know who I
She's
could,
good in this.
you know
she's
who I
good
could
in
get
this.
instead? I could Liv Tyler instead.
I'd take Evangeline Lilly over Liv Tyler, not just because of the age thing.
And not just because of the association with her dad.
Yeah. Like, you put Evangeline Lilly as, what's her name?
Eowyn.
Yeah.
Which one of those? 50-50, which one is the right one?
Because,
I'm pretty sure it's
30
Arwen.
seconds of research.
30 fucking seconds
To be
of
fair,
research.
we're not talking about the Lord of the Rings yet, so you know what? That's on Tolkien.
Yeah, that's on you, Peter Jackson. Take that. Okay, back to Real Steel.
Back to reality. Oh, there
Back
goes
to
gravity.
good old Jesus. Fucking hell.
That song popped up on the radio the other day on a station that it shouldn't have, and I was like, "What the?"
Was it an oldies radio station? Because
No.
welcome to it. That is an oldies.
It was Seattle's alternative. I was like, "Is it 2004 again?" This soundtrack belongs in 2004. Honestly, even like there's two songs featuring Marshall Mathers on this soundtrack, and I could
Yeah.
have done without either of them. Like,
I mean, in any situation, if you have the opportunity to listen to Eminem, don't.
yeah, folks, if you enjoy Eminem, that's fine. That's just never appealed to my sensibilities.
Yeah.
So
But this movie appeals to my sensibilities. There is some wholesome as shit stuff in this movie.
the kid dancing. The whole thing about the kid dancing is
The
wholesome
kid
as
dancing,
fucking shit.
anytime they show Evangeline Lilly like
yes,
watching
period.
the fights.
Oh,
Full stop.
Yeah, her watching the fight. Her going on a date only to just
To just watch the fights and be like, yep. I could really use something to drink. Oh, I'm gonna buy you a drink. Sure. I really want to drink alone.
was she on a date with that guy, or did that guy just roll up on her? I think he might have just rolled up on her.
I
entirely
don't
possible.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but her watching the fights, her being like in the crowd watching Hugh Jackman like actively boxing again, the like whole montage of him like retraining to do boxing and stuff like that. All of it good.
Every time that like Max is having a conversation with Adam where he's just like, you can tell like this kid just needs somebody to hear him.
Yeah.
Did we ever land? What's up with it? It keeps implying there's something up with Adam the whole time.
That's just movie bullshit.
Did
Yeah.
that go any? That doesn't go.
No.
That
anywhere.
doesn't go anywhere.
I didn't miss anything, right?
No.
No, he's not actually sentient. He's not. None of that is a thing. It's
As
just,
far as we know,
as far as we know.
there are a lot of lingering shots on his face as he's staring at the kid. And you're
Yeah.
like, is he gonna?
Is
like
he gonna
a
punch
blink?
that kid?
Why is like? Is he gonna like blink? Is he gonna turn his head? Is he gonna like
Yeah.
smile? Is something gonna happen? No. It just keeps teasing you along.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's a tease of like you the audience want something to happen in that moment because you want this kid to have a win, and the only thing that he has is a fucking inanimate object.
Oh God.
Yeah.
And so you linger on those shots waiting for something to just be like, yes, the kid's right. This guy is something. And it's like, no, this is just what he was built for. He can fucking take punches like a motherfucker.
Yeah. The other thread that's kind of dropped out of nowhere at the end of this film is that the guy that designs which is it's a little 1990s, but the evil Japanese robot guy. They keep him
Shit.
I'm not gonna lie, rewatching this, I was like, is this where they get the character design for the music producer in Carol and Tuesday? It's just like, I am the best. Nobody can touch what I'm doing. I will fucking design AI to be humans. Fuck it!
A little bit.
A little bit.
maybe, but also
Except that guy never lost his cool in that
Never.
entire series.
Nope.
This dude punches a fucking computer screen out.
yeah. But there's an implication that there's something going on with that I feel like doesn't actually ever go anywhere.
I think
Was there another draft of this script where it was going to be more intriguey at some point? Were they like, this robot actually does come to like? Was there the robots or sentient going to be a plot point, and then like they have to like disband robot fighting because
it turns out this guy hasn't actually been creating new robots. He's been suppressing
A robot uprising?
a robot upright. Like
Well,
he's
like-
been suppressing the AI that gets put into robots, and they're trying to break free of that.
yeah, because like they mentioned that Adam was built by this or designed by this guy. It's like one of his
It was like
prototypes.
yeah.
So I feel like that was going to be a thing. Like that at some point, that was a thing where it turns out like the robots are actually sentient and they have to like stop doing robot. These robots have to stop fighting because they're people now.
Yeah.
That are being forced to fight, and they just kept some of those pieces in there and just decided not to go that route because they keep being like, "Ooh, something's up. What's the secret behind this thing?" And it turns out there isn't one.
There isn't one. He just wants to buy his old robot back.
Yeah, he just wants.
He
to be
just
good
wants
at
to
fighting.
buy out the competition.
Yeah, which I think is which is really what they just land on at the end of just like, oh no, the reason that they're still a champion is because they just buy people out.
just like the real one.
I was like,
Just like, yeah.
real stuff.
Which so again, so thinking of like 2011 to 2020. Dear God, in 2011, did we ever think we would actually see 2020?
I refuse to believe. My brain can't imagine anything. Like I could barely handle thinking about 2020, but like hearing the like the Marvel films release schedule just gives me like vertigo.
Yeah.
It's like this comes out in 2025, and I'm like, that's never gonna happen. That's a million years from that. Like,
Yeah.
my brain is refusing to process New Year's going forward. And I'm not sure, like 2019, like, yeah, that makes sense. 2020, I don't, what?
What?
Huh?
No.
2021.
Never heard of her.
That's the future. 2025, that's never going to get here.
Our brains are constantly doing the fucking Y2K thing. I'm just like, I don't know what's going to happen on New Year's Eve that night. I'm just going to shut down.
What year is it? Who
Yeah,
knows?
not my computer's me. I'm just
Me,
gonna shut
I'm
down.
going to shut down. My brain cannot compute that fucking number. But I feel like for 2011, they had ideas and everything always, I feel like because there was such, by 2010, there was such a huge like uptick in technology from like 10 years past even 2000, like the 80s are kind of what I feel like really started it. Late 70s into the 80s started it. Technology was exploding. Into the 90s, it kept growing and we got more and more things. And then in 2000 to 2010 was such a huge boom in technology that I think that potentially we could be living in a world where Real Steel was in 2020. I think there was a possibility of that being a thing, of remote controlled giant robots punching each other.
Alternatively,
I almost wonder if we're shooting ourselves in the foot enough, though. Like, if we didn't make as many movies about where AI goes deadly wrong, like, if we were
wouldn't
more,
get cool shit like robot fighting.
yeah, but like maybe we'd stop shooting ourselves in the foot so much.
Yeah.
alternatively,
I'm completely wrong.
I've seen BattleBots and I know what robot fighting actually looks like, and it's kind of dumb.
Okay, but that's just dudes in their garage machining shit. Like, this is all people putting fucking money into it. And that's where, like, fucking Elon Musk, I know you listen to this fucking podcast.
Piece of shit.
No, damn it, I'm trying to appeal to him right now.
Oh,
Daddy Musk, make robot fighting a thing.
how do you say piece of shit in South African?
I think you just say piece of shit.
Piece of shit. Fuck it. What's that guy's from? It took me a long time to figure out what that guy from District 9 was saying. Like the first half an hour, the Charlton Copley. I was like,
Copley.
the fuck language is he speaking? Turns out it was kind of English.
Kind of.
I couldn't understand what he was. I was like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, accents are
something-
crazy,
and
man.
something clicked, and I was like, oh, I understand him now.
Yeah.
I say, looking around, hoping nobody asks me what's happening.
Yeah.
But robot, I will say, like, other than not having pandemic and having fighting robots, the fact that they didn't really make anything different, I feel like was pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
the only difference is now there's big ugly stadiums, which they nailed that. Big ugly stadiums all over the place now. Just
Yeah, I think the most obvious things that are just like, oh, at the time I could see why you would think that, but no, obviously robot fighting. Because like the way they describe why it became a thing too is very much just like, oh yeah, in 2010, like in that time, I could see like how humanity would get to a point of just being like, you know what? Just dudes wailing on each other. I just don't get it anymore. It's just not doing it for me. I want something bigger than that. I want fucking like.
Well, now in the time of like, we have so many studies going on what kind of trauma and long lasting injuries that
Yeah.
athletes are taking because of full contact sports. Like, I know a lot of the focus is on football right now, but how long until we take it to boxing and being like,
absolutely,
let's talk
yeah.
about the trauma these men go through, and you see, UFC fighting and stuff like
and
that.
women are traumatizing each other as well. It's not being. There's be equal opportunity here.
I mean, if you're gonna phrase it that way. But yeah, I mean that's
How
the
people
like,
are being.
yeah. But there's the health aspect of it. But like yeah, but back then I could 100% see just like, oh yeah, people are definitely gonna get to a point. See, the thing that this movie did not foresee.
that Americans would still be Americans.
We would go the opposite direction of like, I want to see people hit each other even harder than in
that
boxing.
people
Yeah.
who weren't boxing would be like, you know what? This twisted tea can is gonna go into your fucking face.
Hell yeah, that's a rad video. That guy fucking deserved that shit.
Yeah, he did.
But nobody could have possibly seen shitbag YouTubers coming. Shitbag YouTubers are the robots of boxing
Because we just want to beat the shit out of them.
because we don't care what fucking happens. We just want to see Jake Paul get his fucking face beat in.
Like I said, I don't
Just
think
get-
Conor McGregor is a YouTuber, but watching
fair
him
enough.
get laid out is pretty funny.
Yeah, just watching Jake Paul take one to the face.
This is
Just
all I need
one.
in life.
I liked there was someone made a video of the Conor McGregor fight, but then after he hits the ground, they did like the spinning JPEG of a blanket over top of him. Because he just like went to sleep. I think they might put a pillow under his head too.
Fucking
But
hell.
I enjoyed that. More people need to lay out Conor McGregor and
Yeah.
he would watch.
See, that's the issue, is that the movie forgot that people are always going to want to watch shitty people get beat the fuck down.
Yeah, and this
So
was
we're-
before MMA kind of blew up, right?
Yeah,
2010? Yeah, probably.
it was like when it was starting to get its baby.
Yeah.
This is right before Joe Rogan hopped onto the
Jesus Christ.
MMA train.
The DM.
We love you,
MDM.
Daddy Joe. Put us on your. I'll be on your show.
We'll do some. What
I
is
got
it? Is
4 hours on an afternoon.
Jesus.
I'll do some DMT. And,
Some DMT. There it is. DMT. Yeah.
oh Christ!
I can never remember how many letters are in DMT. I always want to throw in like, is it MDM?
MGMT.
Do some MGM grand.
Do some
That might be a
BYOB.
drug.
Oh Lord. So I have noticed. I don't remember if I've already talked about this on other episodes before, but I have to bring this one. I have to bring it up again here because again, this is a movie that boils down to father-son relationships. I am such a fucking sucker for this shit now. Any father-son shit, I am 100% there, and I am 100% gonna get a little misty about it.
Anytime a son really hates his father, you're like that's I can
That's
see yourself in that. That's me.
That's me.
I feel like this one more so this year because you and Lil Man have been gotten into Transformers together. You know, you've been building
Yeah,
like woodworking stuff together a little bit.
I'm actually like we're getting to the points now where he is like a human
Almost a
being.
person.
He's like, yeah. And so I'm just like, oh, I'm seeing like.
I mean, he's been a human being for a little while now.
No,
but-
I understand, but like.
Since conception, we're all on the same page on that.
There's one more 1-star review right there. Oh, Jesus.
Podcast is over. Pack it up.
Fucking pack it up.
Oh,
I didn't see this one with us going out with laughter, but sure.
Sure, why not? Fucking margaritas are great. Oh Lord.
Since he's got a real good little personality.
Yeah. So I don't know. Every time there's like any sort of room for that sort of reaction out of stuff, I find more lately that I have been having the appropriate response to those things.
He's less of a robot.
Yeah.
Congratulations, son. You've made your dad less of a robot.
Congratulations.
Wasn't me. Been, together for
Oh no, absolutely.
over a decade.
No,
but,
since we got married, I noticed. So once we got married, I noticed that like I would start like crying at shit, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Okay, but then like now it's been like even that gate has opened to more of just like, yeah, it's not just like you're not just a stable human being anymore. There's like actual like context for this shit that we're just gonna get you with now. God, what was the last thing? I remember talking about it on a different episode because I remember talking about how I just felt manipulated into it and not like it was a real response. And it was because it was some shitty thing, I feel like.
Christmas Prince.
No.
Night Before Christmas.
This fucking Night Before Christmas
Weeping
really
at
gets
Night
me.
Before Christmas. Can you imagine? There has to be somebody out there that fucking watches that.
Oh,
and
just
like,
weeps at the end.
Christ.
And not because, why did I just spend a fucking hour and a half watching this?
Folks,
jerks. It's just because I'm a person.
If you openly weep at the end of The Night Before Christmas, send us an email, moistboyspodcast@gmail.com, and tell us about your story.
We need to interview you.
We need to talk about
How
this.
are you a human being? How do you function in life?
Yeah, I remember.
Also, I
remember
feel
what
like
we're
we'll have
talking
lots of
about.
comments, so just comment. Just talk to me.
God, yeah, I'm trying to remember what that was now because I do remember talking about it, but yeah, I don't know.
The other thing that this movie gets right about 2020 is Anthony Mackie wearing leather vests just as an outfit.
I dig it. I dug it.
Not mad.
I dug it a lot. Anthony Mackie, could you get on that, please?
Get on it, bro.
Was he? He's the kind. I feel like he's the person just kind of came out of nowhere for me, having not seen The Hurt Locker. But like,
Which is the movie that everybody was in before they were in stuff.
yeah, I guess he was in 8 Mile. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Was he?
yeah, he was the guy who wasn't Mekhi Phifer or anybody else in the movie.
He was the one that was not anybody but Anthony Mackie in 8 Mile. He's also in $1 Million Baby, another movie I have not watched.
Oh, interesting.
My God. I haven't seen 8 Mile since it came out. I've never seen $1 Million Baby. I haven't seen Hurt Locker. So yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Suddenly was in a
I'm gonna say that about everybody from now on. Oh, he was in that. Oh yeah, he was the guy who was him in that movie.
Just listing all the people he was in every movie. Oh, folks, I hope you drink a margarita before you listen to this.
It's funnier if you drink a margarita while you're listening.
We're funnier when you're drunk. He was in The Adjustment Bureau with Matt Damon.
Interesting.
Also, haven't seen
Also,
that
haven't
movie.
seen that. Yeah.
He's been in a lot of stuff I haven't seen. Oh, Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter is definitely going to be on that series at some point because that movie's dumb as fuck, but it's fun.
Folks, we're just gonna have a podcast of nothing but these now.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Everybody feel good about this? We're ready for Clooney's.
Just real quick, Hope Davis plays a French flight attendant in the original Home Alone. Found out when we were rewatching that. Didn't know who that was when I saw it originally. But she's in that for like 2 seconds with a French accent.
Like on the plane, or the one who's talking to her at the
At the
ticketing
terminal.
gate? Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
the ticketing gate lady she's talking to.
Yeah, real bad French accent, but what are you gonna do? It was the
Crazy.
90s.
You know who's also in Home Alone? I don't know if you guys know this.
Kieran
Culkin.
Culkin.
Okay, no, that's not what I was gonna say.
Oh, the third Culkin, McClunky.
Did you know Moira
From Schitt's Creek
was in Home Alone?
blew my fucking mind.
Thank you, Looper.com, for just giving us
God.
breaking that story wide
People,
open.
if you did not realize that she had a career before Schitt's Creek,
and probably after.
yeah, like come on.
Fucking Jesus. Sometimes the internet is a curse.
Yeah.
You'll be
do
shocked
we-
to know Dan Levy also had a career before Schitt's Creek. Just so
Yeah.
everybody knows.
Did he though? Did
I don't know.
he though?
I don't know.
That's-
Eugene Levy did though.
Yeah, Eugene Levy.
No, Dan Levy had stuff before.
Did he?
I think
Sure he
That's probably a conversation for another episode.
for not this fucking episode.
Now, live on the podcast, we're going to have a nice behind the scenes discussion of what do we how do we want to frame. I don't know. We can just go around and answer the question: is it good actually?
Oh,
Is that the
okay.
name of the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, there
it's
we
good
go.
actually. The question is because I think
Is it good actually? Because we're gonna pick these movies and then rewatch them because I think a lot of them we haven't seen.
some of these are going to be from childhood /
So now
early
it's-
adulthood.
Okay, was it?
So now that we're old as fuck,
Is it good
Doesn't hold
actually?
up.
Now
Is
that it's
it-
10 years later.
Is it? It's good actually. I'm gonna say yeah, it's pretty good. It's an entertaining time. There's nothing offensively bad about that. Which, considering the time period,
Had a lot of
is-
potential to be.
yeah, from
Yeah.
the director of the Night at the Museum films, could have gone any number of ways. But for the most part, it didn't. Again, like soundtrack's is pretty
It's
terrible.
what it is.
back
Yeah.
to front. But
You're not gonna notice it a ton.
But when you do,
You're gonna notice it.
yeah, when Eminem pops up, you're gonna see it. But for the most part, I think it held up pretty well, considering that 2011 was kind of the year that movies forgot to exist. Like, it's never a year that you think about movies from,
No.
at least for me.
Yeah.
Like every other year, I'm like, there's this. Like, I can't think of anything else from 2011. Real, like, I guess X-Men First Class, but it seems like it was a rough year for film.
Yeah.
Like as far as like the big ones go. So I'm gonna say it's good actually. Yes.
Also, this was your first time watching it, correct?
Yes, I have not seen it before other than like the trailers and like brief scenes again on TNT, flipping through channels.
Yeah. So for me, this was a second watch because we, as I stated earlier, Heather and I saw it in the theater when it came out. And so I hadn't seen it in 10 years, but watched it again. And I would agree. Is it good actually? Yes.
I feel like you guys
Is it-
are phrasing
it's-
that
it's-
so terribly.
Is it? Well, the show is it's good actually, and it's good actually is the question.
Yes. It's good actually.
Heather, it's good actually?
Oh my god. Yes, it is actually good. It's how you answer that question, you psychopaths.
Well, that's not fun.
Yes, it is actually good. I definitely it's second time watch. It's got a little bit of everything. It touches on all the bases. It's touching
Yeah.
everything.
I wouldn't mind being touched by any of it, except for the kid. Except for the kid.
The kid gets put in a little bubble off to the side, and then you just kind of jump into a big pile of
You
the
want
movie.
them robots touching you?
I mean,
You gotta be there's the support. Everyone else is kind of the
yeah,
massaging,
yeah.
the gentle fingers.
Jesus,
okay, we're
this
done
is
with
going
this.
a direction.
I would say yes, it is good. I would suggest watching it. It's a good time had by all the way from old as fuck our age and down to Little man's age. Little man dug it.
He fucking loved the robot fights.
Yes, he did. He very much was here for the robot fight.
Yeah.
And then they started talking, and he left, and then the music started, and he came back.
Yeah,
and watched the
He
whole-
was like, I'm gonna go watch my cartoons
yeah,
now.
I will say that about the soundtrack. It definitely cues you to when something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because every time you could tell when the music cued to the right thing for him, because he would run back in here, he'd know by the music cue of being like, okay, something's gonna happen. I want to know. I want to watch this. He definitely dug the kid dancing with the robot.
Yeah, he did.
I'm surprised he's not been like, can I dance with my robot?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, like this legitimately, like this is my Father's Day movie. Like this is my dad movie.
Yeah, I could see us watching this multiple times a year
Yeah.
happily. There's a lot of other movies we have to watch, so maybe let's not like have every week on TNT, but we could watch this multiple times a year.
Could watch it, yeah.
Man, that's the one nice thing about. I've said this before. That's the one nice thing about cable is just flipping through channels, finding something. Like you can be an hour into it.
Finding The Knight's Tale on TNT.
Yeah, you're like it's half over. Perfect.
Great.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking I have never in my entire fucking life seen Kindergarten Cop start to finish. Always minimum 10 to 15 minutes in when I find it on TNT.
Yeah. It's one of those movies where I love that about cable too, because I'd always find the movies that I wanted to watch, and every commercial break, I just flip to another channel, watch that till commercial, flip to another channel. I don't think I ever watched all the movies all the way through, and I never stayed on the channel. I just flipped between 3 movies, and I was like, I'll watch them in between commercial breaks. It'll be great. And then I'd get really stuck on one and have to like go back and be like, oh, is it back from commercial?
Yeah.
No, okay.
See, the trap you fall into with that is that at one point all 3 of them are going to be at a commercial break.
Yeah, and then you get pissed, and
Yeah.
then that's when you go get a snack.
You're like, not my movies.
Yeah,
What the
that's-
hell?
I feel bad for the next generation because seeing the entirety of a movie, but never, like you said, in the order that you're supposed to,
Yeah.
is something that you just lose when you don't watch it on TV.
Also, having to watch the TV edits are the best thing.
I am not going to miss fucking Pan and Scan. I
Yeah,
won't. That is absolutely
not
atrocious.
that's not as much. That's an old person thing back in
Yeah.
the 4x3 days.
You know,
That you don't
I'm
see.
talking about like the cussing edits or the like, we have to fit this into an hour and a half, but it's actually an hour and 45 minutes. So we have to cut weird chunks of it out. And then you watch it later and you're like, I've literally never seen this scene before. Where the fuck did this come from?
Yeah, because they had to add a deleted scene. Like, oh god, all of
Either
that.
had to add deleted scenes or they had to like scrub stuff out a
Yeah.
little bit. Oh god, it's
So good. Fucking go to FX right now. Fucking Die Hard with a Vengeance is probably playing. Just it's probably there at some point, and just go and wait until racist melon farmer comes along, and it just makes your day. Go to Comedy Central. They're probably also showing The Big Lebowski. John Turturro is not in the movie anymore, but this is what happens when you French a stranger in the Alps. Oh, just absolute masterworks.
they did do some really good things.
Just so good.
Some of them, because they had to do stuff like that because you couldn't just change it to like, you could just bleep it half the time. You had to change the entire fucking word.
Yeah.
Racist melon farmer.
Racist melon farmer.
Why
So-
you would put The Big Lebowski or any Quentin Tarantino movie on cable? It boggles the mind. I don't know.
What are they
Yeah.
covering up if you kiss a stranger? This is what happens.
What happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass? You French a stranger in the Alps.
I mean, that's same difference.
And then, and that also then leads into I have an also personal favoritism towards that, because then that led to OG sad boy Phoebe Bridgers titling her album Stranger in the Alps, which just gets me right in the feels.
Speaking of feels, folks, I feel like this episode is over. Thank you for listening. We promised we would do it, and here we're going to do it now. We're gonna tease. Animarch is right around the corner.
It's literally the next episode.
Yeah. Not 100% locked down on the order yet, because as we've said before, we're going to be recording these well in advance, and I don't know what order we're going to be doing them in, but We've got a whole special slate lined up for you. We're doing the classics. We're doing Akira. We're doing the original anime Ghost in the Shell, not the Scarlett Johansson
Thank God.
version.
Yeah.
I'll probably never watch because who could give a shit?
Because who gives a shit? Now, when you say the original anime, what you're saying is the original anime of Ghost in the Shell.
Yes.
Okay, I was going to say citation needed for that fucking blanket statement, but yeah.
We're also going to be talking about the 2001 question mark.
No, it's 2001 because the show came out in 98.
Okay.
2001 Cowboy Bebop movie.
Yep.
Yep.
Which I've not seen any of the selections.
I have seen
I've seen one of 3.
2 of them.
What was the other one?
Because I've seen Akira and I've seen Bebop.
Yeah.
I've seen Bebop.
I have not seen OG Ghost in the Shell. I've actually not watched any Ghost in the Shell. I remember when Bebop was on Adult Swim, they were also showing Standalone Complex. And at one point in that, the Major like snipes out a dude who's like running and just like completely blows out his ankle as he's running away. And I was like, this show's not for me. I'm too young for this.
Let's go back to that Cowboy Bebop.
Go get Cowboy Bebop and Inuyasha, please.
Jesus.
And then the last one is
A Whisker Away.
A Whisker Away.
Yay.
I think it's 2018.
I think so.
Just added to Netflix recently.
Yeah.
It's on the
The only one that Bennett might have some interest in.
The only one
Maybe.
outside of
the only one that you would allow him to have
The
interest
only
in.
one we're going to
Yeah.
let him see.
I mean,
Hey,
Bebop doesn't have that.
Hey Bennett, come watch Akira with us real quick. Look at that guy turn into a big blob. Watch him blow. Watch him explode. Spoiler
this
alert.
We did. Yeah.
Watch this fucking motorcycle gang try to rape this girl.
Great. What am I getting into? I have
Fucking
no
anime
Anime.
classic.
Oh, Jesus.
An anime classic.
So here's my slight parenting fail just to share with all of our lovely listeners who have hung out with this far. If I don't know that these things are in it, apparently you two do. So thankfully you'll save us because I don't want to make another Bridgerton mistake.
I was just
where
being like, hey, buddy, let's watch this Bridgerton. Oh, God, they're naked.
no Bridgerton for you. Out you go.
Out, sir.
Yeah, he can't watch it in most of these.
Yeah, Whisker Away, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll
So-
screen it.
I mean, I doubt he's going to have any interest in it because it's going to be,
They're cats.
yeah, but it's an anime movie.
Yeah, but it's cats.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
I don't think there's gonna be any explosions, folks. If
No robots, no explosions.
No robots, no,
Yeah.
yeah.
folks, if you have any recommendations for
Future Animarches.
future Animarches, because we have another series on this channel right now called Monthly Miyazaki, but by the end of the year we're gonna have tapped out that resource and we're gonna have to move on to other Ghibli films. And trying to find classic anime movies that you can watch for Animarch that aren't Ghibli is quite a challenge if you just Google that, because everyone's like, Whisper of the Heart, you got My Neighbor Totoro, and it's like, okay, anything that's not Studio Ghibli, and it's Akira, Ghost in the Shell,
Yeah.
and Cowboy Bebop, and that's about it.
I think we're gonna do, I mean, we did Weathering with You last year,
Yeah.
but I feel like we need to do more of his work. Obviously we need to do more Satoshi Kon. The
Tokyo
issue,
Godfathers, baby.
yeah, the issue that we run into a lot is accessibility, I feel like.
Most of these are not available streaming anywhere.
Yeah. So
Some of
it's-
them not worried.
It's either we own them or a friend owns them that we can borrow them from.
Yeah.
Which I would not like. I would buy Satoshi Kon's movies sight unseen.
Based
After
off
Millennium
of
Actress.
Yeah, based off Millennium Actress,
God, that's
I'm
so
in.
good.
Like I'm willing to watch this dude's stuff. I know God damn it, why can I not remember this guy? The guy who did Weathering with You and
Your Name.
and Your Name, like his stuff is a bit more of a mixed bag for me. So that one I feel like Your Name, I feel like I'm willing based off of like all the reviews that I have heard. I would be willing to just go and just like
throw down some cash for that one to
Yeah.
watch it, but like Garden of Words, I did not enjoy, and which I don't think we ever did an episode on that, but we're gonna have to do that at some point.
Yeah, we watched it for one, but we never talked
It never
about
ended up happening. And then I always say that wrong, but I think it's Voices from a Distant Star. I think I was not in the right headspace when I watched that.
Yeah.
And so that fucking hit me like a ton of bricks. And I was like, I think I hated that, but I'm not sure. Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
apologize again for not remembering that guy's name.
but so yeah, any other
30 seconds.
recommendations for anime you would like us to do on Animarch or any other time of the year for any other series? Go ahead and do that.
Makoto Shinkai.
Yeah. If you have strong opinions about Real Steel that you want to share with us, please send those to us at moistboyspodcast@gmail.com. You never know, your emails might just get read on the next episode.
They probably
definitely
will.
if I get an email about it, I'm gonna fucking read it because
You took the time to do it, so
Yeah.
We're definitely gonna give you
Yeah.
a shout out.
I feel like this is a good series to get people listeners involved because I feel like this is going to be the time we're going to get some real strong opinions about
Yeah.
some of our picks.
We also were going to be doing some picks, but if you got some ideas to help hone some of our ideas, because I can tell you I've got like 7 movies I can think of, but I'm all like, do we want to watch those
Yeah.
at the same time? So if you've got some strong feels about movies that have disappeared from the zeitgeist, even though you don't feel like they should,
I will say, so what we're looking at, we're kind of trying to narrow the field a little bit. And so we're looking, if any suggestions you come, make sure that they are less than a 7 rating on IMDb. Because I think that's...
I guess to kind of peel back the onion on this a little bit, it's either it has to be kind of forgotten / disliked across the board, which I feel like Real Steel falls under that. Like nobody's talking about
Nobody
it.
remembers this movie.
Or I would say IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, because like an aggregate of that. Or if there's like a confluence of YouTube videos of just like, this thing fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Like there are some movies that YouTube, and by YouTube I mean like the consensus of like quote unquote YouTube reviewers,
People
absolutely
who...
loathe these movies.
Yeah.
But you go on Rotten Tomatoes and it's like 72%. You're like, how the fuck does that work?
Yeah. So if you, for some reason, suffered through a Nostalgia Critic episode about a movie and you're like, fuck that guy, that's a good movie.
Or
hit us up.
or the reason why we have a podcast in the first place, good old CinemaSins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not it kind of is. His absolute lack of nuance or thought
Understanding of films at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
is one of the reasons why I wanted to start this because
And I know Josue goes to bat for those guys about what they actually think of movie. I don't fucking care. That doesn't matter at this point. What you put out is who you are,
yeah,
and they are CinemaSins.
yeah.
So in 2021, your online persona is you.
Pretty much. So yeah. So if it's either like across the board, like a meh, or if it's like absolutely hated in a very particular, like one of those things, like it has like a 6.7 on IMDb, and you're like, but it's the Wolverine. That's a good movie.
Yeah.
Then email us why you like it, and just be prepared that we might actually agree with the consensus on that one and just trash a movie for an hour. So
That is entirely possible that might happen.
yeah,
But that's why we're doing this, to revisit things.
And then you 1-star review us, and we read your review on
Yeah.
on the podcast. So
But if you're going to 1-star us, fucking say something.
yeah, tell
tell
me
us why.
Tell
I
us
want to know
why. We
I
want to
wanna
know.
know.
I'm a pain pig, and I want to know why you hate us.
Yeah. And not just assume it's because we don't think that
life starts at conception.
Folks, thank you all for listening to the Moist Boys podcast. Come back. Just, you know what? Just put all of those animes into your in your queue somewhere, somehow. Watch them all because they're going to be good, quote unquote, question mark.
And if you're as into anime as we are, you probably also have the DVDs of them. So fire that up.
Yeah. But yeah, come back next week for that. Otherwise, stay safe out there. Keep wearing your masks. Get that vaccination.
As soon as you can.
Take the butt test if you feel like it. Otherwise,
There's a butt test now?
yeah, you swab.
You don't
up
have
your
to
butt.
go up your nose anymore?
Nope, goes up your butt.
I might need to get tested.
Which one's worse?
The nose for sure.
For sure.
On that note,
Says the two people who've never had something in their butt.
I've had stuff comes out my butt on a regular basis.
Out and up are different.
Fair enough.
I think they're close. As
We
dry
are-
as mine are, that's the same thing.
We are almost at an age where that's not going to be the case anymore. So
And I'm going to laugh. I've also never had something in my butt.
high five.
Thanks.
Anyway, this is why we
This
get
is-
1 star.